No, don't worry. I'm pansexual. Maybe I'll get Oh, the desire for attention.
Desire for attention. For people who seem to shit on trans people, talking about how those kinds of people are always just doing it for attention, you seem to give those people a lot of attention. You could just ignore them. You could do that. You don't have to give people who are gender non-conforming attention, but you seem to enjoy doing that a lot. In fact, you've built a brand upon doing it as well. So even if it is the case that all of these people are only doing it for attention, and the way that you frame that is that that's a bad thing, you're kind of contributing to the problem. And as a logical mind that Ben Shapiro ostensibly is, at least that's what he likes to say he is, that doesn't seem to follow, logically speaking. Okay, all right. Ben Shapiro, bussy tight. Okay, all right, sorry. This is Ben Shapiro reacts to insane woke TikToks Volume 7. This was released on February 12th and got 1 million views already. He must be spitting in this one, man. Like, obviously, because we live in a meritocracy, view count equals success equals good video equals everything in it is good. So we can make our own determinations about this, maybe. Let us see what is up with these insane woke TikTok. Very excited about this one. And by excited, I mean, not only was this easy content for Ben Shapiro to make, because he could just be belligerent in the face of very mundane shit, he could just be belligerent in the face of very mundane stuff. I can be belligerent in response, but also be correct about my takes instead of being incorrect like Ben Shapiro.
How about another joke, Ray? What do you get when you cross a mentally ill donor with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash?
Ben Shapiro is not Murray in this situation. Ben Shapiro is Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, except with less of a reason to actually be in that position, and also probably acted infinitely worse than anybody else in my chat room could have done. Joaquin Phoenix is an incredible actor, of course, though.
I'll tell you what you get. Get what you f***ing deserve.
Alrighty,
That
folks.
being said, listen, say what you will about Ben Shapiro. You could say, like, oh, he could easily be stuffed in a locker, even by me, a femboy. Say, you know, oh, literally every take he's ever had has been bad, poorly researched, and misleading. You could say, oh, he's probably got some issues that he doesn't know how to work out, so he takes it out on so-called woke TikToks. You could say a bunch of stuff about Ben Shapiro. I think, for all the crap that people give his boomer editing, I think that this intro is not bad, okay? Aside from the fact that it's pretty inaccurate in the way that the characters in the show work and the way that things are being depicted, this is funny to me. I find that interesting. I think that's cool, okay? We'll give him that, at least.
Alrighty, folks, we are back, and my producers have been given permission by me to torture me once again for your viewing pleasure.
Oh,
they're going to show me a bunch of...
The fetish is on display here. He says his producers have been giving permission by Ben Shapiro to torture Ben Shapiro in public, of all things. That's a sex act, man. Certain lawyers would be really, really upset about that. I'm sorry.
TikTok videos. I'm going to react to said TikTok videos.
It never ends, this shit.
I'm prepared to be depressed, anxious. I should see my doctor if this maintains for multiple hours afterward. This video is sponsored by...
That's usually in regards to other things, but we can't see below the desk. I'm sorry.
ExpressVPN.
It keeps happening!
Oh my God.
Just hung out with my friends all day and I'm drunk as but
Why can't people just be cool? Like if someone goes, oh, I go by they, them pronouns. Why can't you just be Gucci?
why does it always have to be some
Hi, I go by he, him, she, her, they, them, whatever the Oh, I ain't gonna call you that. Why? Why can't you just...
Bro, Whoopi Goldberg has been dealing really badly with her suspension from The View. What is going on here? Whoopi Goldberg is in her bag right now, apparently, but at least she's more progressive about the pronoun thing.
Why can't you just be Gucci? Why can't you just... Oh, okay. What the does it take...
By the way, I'm referencing, what was the movie? The movie that Whoopi Goldberg is in where she's like a nun? Fuck, what is the name of this? Sisters Act. Yes. It just, I don't know, she doesn't have twisted hair or whatever, but I don't know. It might be the glasses. It's a good movie. Listen, it's not a diss, okay? If you're compared to Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act, that's a compliment, all right? It's the glasses, yeah.
Out of you, nothing.
And the fit, I guess, like the fit too.
Shall I go by he, him? Oh, I have a... Why? Oh,
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Listen, I'm sorry I paused so much before Ben Shapiro's even said a damn word, because I can essentially already understand what Ben Shapiro is going to say. I don't really care about that. I'm more interested in the TikToks themselves. Call me crazy, but I feel like this person, perhaps, just maybe, there's some amount of possibility, perhaps a non-zero percentage, that this person featured in the TikTok is being hyperbolic for the sake of entertainment. Maybe. That's just a guess. I don't know this person, all right? I'm pretty sure they are not actually this emotionally impacted by pronouns. Just a guess. But far be it for me to try to explain small elements of lowbrow comedy to Ben Shapiro, the comedy understander. He already understands this, obviously.
Okay, bro. Why are you embarrassing your lineage?
Honestly, the least damaging moment of this video is when this person throws out the back and starts screaming in pain. That's actually the most healthy moment of this video. It's like the Joker from Dark Knight doing the selfie with fake Batman. Like, what is going on? From just a cinematic angle?
Okay, yeah, I was right. It's you can read him like a book. You read him like a failed book that didn't take off before he became a conservative pundit. Just very easily, because the level of writing, incredibly immature, novice, not a lot of effort put into it. Just like the books he used to write.
Hey, but forget the camera work. Nothing says, if you give me what I want, I will be healthy, quite like a person screaming at...
You missed the joke. You missed another joke. Ben Shapiro, it's so easy. You were talking about how the camera is unstable, and you could say something, you could format it differently to fit your incredibly small brain, but you could say like, oh, just like how this person is unstable, and here's why. It could have been funny, but of course. I have to say, Ben Shapiro's editor pulling a lot of weight in this one.
Well, falling over and crying repeatedly, that if you don't, then they will act like this. This is the first rule of parenting. With children, when they start screaming and crying about a thing, you don't negotiate with the terrorists.
Now watch this drive.
This might be the first time I've agreed with Ben Shapiro, but it is true that kids are terrorists by default. I agree with that one.
A rational case for why I should do the thing that you want me to do. That rational case does not include you screaming like a banshee, falling over, crying, bumping into walls, and crying some more. Nope.
So I recently
So we don't understand being hyperbolic for the sake of the entertainment value of whoever's watching it that might find it entertaining. Okay, cool.
my parents that I may be a little bit romantically interested in women. And that was a big shock for them, considering the past 10 years of coming out as gay, then queer, then non-binary, then trans.
The pipeline.
And I think it was just a bit of a shock. So I tell my dad, and he goes, well, I would love to see you get a woman pregnant. And I said, oh, no. She would be getting me pregnant. And then he said, what, do you have a vagina now? And I said, never say never. And then I tell my mom, and she goes, I would just love to see you own property one day. And in California, that's sort of...
And luckily for me, I'm a lesbian, so I have a wife. I'm just kidding.
My wife!
I don't know how this person, their sex, whatever.
A parent's dream. It's not having kids or getting married. It's are you able to own a house? Wouldn't that be nice?
Wait, what was wrong about this TikTok? I can understand, the excited nature of the first one being disagreeable to someone who doesn't understand hyperbolic, physical comedy. Ben Shapiro watches Jim Carrey's The Mask and is like, I don't get it. Why is he so excited? Why does his face move like that? What's with this exaggerated face? That clock can't move on its own. Clocks aren't sentient. That's how Ben Shapiro engages with literally even the most lowbrow comedy, which is physical slapstick Jim Carrey style shit. Now, The Mask is a good movie, by the way. It's a banger. But come on, man. You can't be this humorless.
Leftist gender ideology says that you have an inborn genetic identity that is immutable. Right? It's your gender, but it changes every 30 seconds.
Wait, what? What do you mean an inborn genetic identity? Is this the born in the wrong body kind of thing? We're oh no, people don't choose to be gay or trans or whatever else. They always have been. I assume that's what he's touching on. But nobody says that it's an essential link. They're saying that because usually for people who are gay or trans, there are some factors that can be observed earlier in their lives that correlate to the fact that they have now understood themselves to be gay or trans later on. Meaning that for a lot of people, not all, a lot of the of people come to these realizations really late, but a lot of the time, they will see those things in the past and then be like, oh yeah, wow, I'm trans now and I understand that now. And like back then I was doing all this kind of stuff. Like I was wanting to wear army shorts and play with G.I. Joes, but I was supposed to be a girl and that's not what girls are supposed to do. But now like I'm a trans guy. People draw those correlations and that's where that born in the wrong body kind of thing comes from. I don't think that's the best argument. It's not holistically bad. It's just not the best because it leads to dumb bullshit like this, unfortunately. But secondly, he's about to say some dumb shit and we're going to respond to that.
From gay to trans to non-binary to agender to pansexual to bisexual.
Wait, so for the first three, to first understand yourself as, so like say we have a woman, right? And she understands herself to be attracted to other women. That would make her a lesbian, especially if she's not attracted to men, right? So then she's gay, okay? Check number one. We got it. Next up, we find out that in that lesbian experience, that person prefers to be the more masculine archetype of that engagement. Let's say that even outside of relationships, that person likes to dress in a more masculine capacity, likes to be seen in society as a more masculine person. Because society currently understands masculinity to usually correlate to people who identify as men, this person's like, wow, it's not just an aesthetic thing for me. It's not just the clothes I like to wear. I actually really like being perceived in society as a man, and therefore, I think I'm trans. Because my gender identity, now that I understand it, doesn't correlate with the sex that I was assigned at birth, so now I am a trans man. Later on, they go on to say, like, oh, well, maybe being a man is not necessarily the thing I'm super interested in. The masculinity, I'm still very interested in. That aspect of a relationship, even, I'm interested in. But, like, I don't really identify as a man, and I don't identify as a woman. I kind of feel like I'm in an in-between state. Maybe there's a word for that. Oh, it's non-binary, meaning that my gender identity doesn't seem to really fit between the understood binary of man and woman. So I think I'm non-binary now. And then you can keep going along this process. The more introspection you do, the more education you find about various aspects of your life that previously you weren't able to understand. And they also do a little bit of introspection, which obviously is a dirty word for conservatives, because in order to be a conservative, you definitionally can't have any potential for introspecting, because if you did, you might fall upon the unfortunate consequence of understanding yourself to kind of be a piece of shit and very authoritarian in the way that you try to control other people. It's fine to be conservative, like socially for yourself, potentially, right? So like say you would like to be a traditional housewife. If that's what you want to do and you are consenting in that, then that's fine. But trying to apply it to other people like conservatism is trying to do, trying to control other people, that's where it gets bad. But anyway, I am intellectualizing this Ben Shapiro segment where he just regurgitates tired conservative pablum for the 8 billionth time way too much.
To likes to shoot up trees, to here's a chicken, to maybe I'll have a vagina one. By the way, your dad happens to be correct, dude.
This aggression will not stand,
Dude.
man.
This man, oh, by the way, listen, we might not be in this place yet in society, but we'll get there. Dude is used in society, even by cis people, even by transphobes, as a gender-neutral term. But I'm pretty sure Ben Shapiro was trying to be transphobic and misgender this person. Though I don't know that we've even understood what the pronouns this person uses are. I don't know that we went through that. So, like, you kind of failed. A little bit. I'd pull up the Dark Souls meme, but you've all seen it a billion times if you're a transphobe, because you're constantly posting your L's on the internet.
Few operative things you're missing. A vagina is only one of them.
One day, don't worry, Ben Shapiro. We'll get to the transhumanist future one day, where maybe we can even alter chromosomes through scientific and medical advancement, and then what will you say? Oh, well, it's not chromosomal, it's not biological, this is an innate, spiritual thing given to you by God. I don't know why I'm giving him the Dave Rubin voice. There's always another goalpost to move.
He's just a straight dude, and he can't handle it. So he has to find some other way of saying.
Well, no. You understand that cis women even can be lesbians, right? So if we're assuming that this person identifies as a woman, then having an attraction to another woman, if that's the only attraction you have, that makes you a lesbian. That makes you homosexual. Because being homosexual is the attraction to your own gender identity or sex that was assigned at birth, you know? It's either one, the way that it manifests. So that person is just gay in that instance. Sorry, I'm trying to parse Ben Shapiro's absolute delusional talking points.
I'm just a straight dude. No, don't worry. I'm pansexual. Maybe I'll get... Oh, the desire for attention.
Desire for attention. For people who seem to shit on trans people, talking about how those kinds of people are always just doing it for attention, you seem to give those people a lot of attention. You could just ignore them. You could do that. You don't have to give people who are gender non-conforming attention, but you seem to enjoy doing that a lot. In fact, you've built a brand upon doing it as well. So even if it is the case that all of these people are only doing it for attention, and the way that you frame that is that that's a bad thing, you're kind of contributing to the problem. And as a logical mind that Ben Shapiro ostensibly is, at least that's what he likes to say he is, that doesn't seem to follow, logically speaking.
Mom and dad's aspirations? Get married, have kids, buy a house? Or this guy, change my self-identification every 37 seconds and then stare sweatily into a TikTok camera for the applause of a bunch of trained SEAL idiots.
What's interesting about this is that this person, while being gender non-conforming or trans or whatever, the way they're dressed currently is pretty conservative in dress, not conservative in ideology. The hairstyle that they're wearing is also pretty, it's like pretty cottagecore almost, right? Like if Ben Shapiro saw another woman dressed this way, he'd be like, hell yeah, brother man. That's what we like to see. We need more tradcon women in the world. And here we have a tradcon woman, assumedly. I don't know their actual identity, but like this is a problem now because trans or whatever. It's like a young Republicans meeting attendee. Yeah. Wow. That's some DMC. I'm not trying to get clapped off this platform yet. Wait. So we get this person before listening to Lil Peep. Okay. After. And now we've got a bunch of body mods, tattoos. We've decided to look the way that we want to look like because I don't know if this person's American, but at least in America, ostensibly we live in a free country. So it is this person's personal liberty to alter their body as they see fit. They don't seem to be hurting themselves. Seems fine to me. As a libertarian, I see no issue with somebody exercising their own personal liberty. But let's see if what Ben Shapiro, the supposed libertarian, has to say about it.
Why? Okay.
Why not?
So here, a few things. On an objective level, this is horrifying.
That's not completely incorrect. This is a bit of an intimidating look. Okay, you'd have to be a bit foolish to think that. But that's probably the point. This person probably enjoys the idea that they come off as intimidating to some people. Not to be like aggressively so, like simply by existing. They kind of like their look is a bit intimidating.
Scariest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
If that's the scariest thing you've ever seen in your life, I know it's a meme, but you're a pussy if that's the truth. I don't think that's actually true for Ben Shapiro, but goddamn, if anybody's out there watching this and that's actually the scariest thing you've ever seen in your life, please go outside.
And terrible, and I feel terrible.
How is this woke though? Because the woke mob will tell you that this is how everybody is supposed to look. The woke mob will tell you that you have to get your tongue split. They will tell you that if you don't split your tongue and stretch your ears to a 00, you are going to be sent to the camps to be re-educated, forcibly feminized, and then you'll look more like Ben Shapiro. And it is what it is.
Terrible for people that they have permanently scarred and marred their bodies, their teeth even.
I feel like they kind of decided to do that. Usually that's the case, that when somebody gets a tattoo, they're not forcibly given a tattoo. That is a free choice that person has made for themselves.
Our society's willingness to pretend that this is in any way healthy and fulfilling behavior for human beings.
These are demons.
When you get rid of
So are we going to get an argument for why that is, or what?
Do you think this person is likely to end up happier than they would have if they stayed before they listened to Lil Peep? What do you think?
So we're not going to get any arguments. We're just going to talk shit. And I mean, that's your right as a human being on the internet to talk shit, okay? With no substantive information to back it up. But Ben Shapiro purports to be some sort of logic lord. He purports to be some mastermind of information gathering and delivery. And as such, you would expect some argument to substantiate the claim that it's somehow bad to be doing body mods like that. But obviously, we're not going to get it. Let me try to see if I can substantiate his claim in a way that I feel like he might if he wasn't being a coward. Okay? It would be so essentially we've got this person who beforehand was looking like a blonde person, okay? And now they've got black hair. We've got some eyebrows, some tattoos, we've got some teeth nonsense going on, we got stretched ears. And we're saying that this is bad. He tries to say that a society that allows people to do this is going to be somehow bad. And then he also says that you'd be a fool to think or something like that you might be happier if they stayed the way they were beforehand. So to substantiate this critique is something like actually I don't find that very interesting to look at. If I was to see a person like that on the street and this person, they're actually very intimidating to me, and I think I might wet myself. So we need to stop this from happening and stop other people from exercising their personal and individual liberty in order to do this and make themselves look this way, because it makes me feel uncomfortable in my pants. I think That's the most substantial argument he could give.
So guys, I met a
Wait, was that the TikToker or was that Ben Shapiro? What is it? It was Ben Shapiro. What are you just moaning into the microphone for, man? What is that? I understand that it's a violation of the Geneva Conventions, and I could be tried at The Hague for making you listen to this one more time, but I'm gonna take that chance.
So guys, I met a TikToker, and a lot of you guys are saying that she looks like me or something, and she makes music, so I thought I would teach her how to howl.
Hi guys.
Hi. Do you know how to howl at all? Like, have you ever howled before?
I'm interested to learn.
Okay.
This could be an interesting tactic, okay? This might be an interesting piece of information to know. Should you find yourself stranded in some place where there are wolves or coyotes, and you might want to offer an intimidating howl in order to scare them away so that you do not get ate. Life pro tip.
Show me your best howl.
Okay.
I give that one a solid 2 out of 10. We were not trying too hard. But okay, listen. Obviously, this person is trying to teach how to howl. See how they do.
That was something.
Yeah, okay, so they seem to agree. The expert in the situation seems to agree with me. Once again, I'm always right. Very good, actually. I think so. I will give that one a solid 7 out of 10. All right. I don't think we fully committed to it, but it's important to not go too far, okay? When you're teaching a person a new skill, you're not going to be like, you want to learn how to draw? Give me your best piece of art, all right? Then it turns out to be this, okay? And you know, that's pretty good. And it's like, okay, well, you've done pretty well. You know, I'll give that one a 2 out of 10. But here, let me draw you something to give you an example. And it's like, okay, man, you can flex on a novice all you want. Jesus Christ. You see what I've done? I might just give up now. There's no shot I'm drawing the Mona Lisa. All signs point to this person absolutely being capable of the Mona Lisa of howls. But you can't, if you're a mentor, show your students the Mona Lisa of howls if they are only capable of a mouse drawing of a Pepe, okay?
Am I doing it? Am I doing it?
You're doing it a little better, yeah.
Okay. Do you want to range?
Oh, they're learning. So before they were like some shit like that. And then they started doing that in the beginning of it or whatever, which is like a more guttural sound that a lot of animals that howl will do. Because it usually starts from deeper in, more guttural sound, and then it gradually gets, you know, higher in resonance.
Yes.
And they started doing
People
that.
thought that one of those people looked like the other one of those people?
That is an interesting question, too, as well. I don't see how they look anything alike. That is a fair take.
So it's real cute. Your 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds pretend to be dogs, cats, and animals. It's way less cute when you're 30, and this is what you do. You spend your mornings working at a minimum wage job that you can only get because you've decided to act like this. And then you spend your afternoons off the side of a road howling with randos. We are creating full-fledged healthy adults here.
Who's we? Ben Shapiro, are you also training people to howl? Who's we?
My pronouns are a little bit too complicated.
Yo, change the battery in your smoke alarm. I don't give a shit about your pronouns if I'm hearing in the background the whole time.
To fit in my bio.
Bro, you really think the firefighters are gonna care about your goddamn pronouns when your place is exploding in flames and they gotta help you get the hell out? Come on, life tip. You hear your fire detector beeping. Replace the damn batteries.
Pronouns that I use are they, them.
Cool. Same.
She, her.
Same.
And clown, self.
Well, okay.
Clown self. Now that's off the beaten path. But listen, we respect clowns in this world, okay? We're watching one right now. Ben Shapiro.
I prefer a mixture of those. And if that is something you really struggle with, I would prefer that you not exclusively use she, her. If you're only going to use one pronoun set for me, use they, them, or clown, self. I don't want to be called she, her alone. However,
That makes sense to me. So if you use a variety of pronouns, it doesn't mean that you don't have preferences between the pronouns that you use. So for instance, this person might only use she, her because of the fact that that's what they've been hearing their whole life, potentially. So like for me personally, I've got a cock and balls. It is what it is. I'm very happy with him. And I was socialized as a man. So I've been hearing he, him my whole life. And now that I use any pronouns, like literally whatever the pronouns you use or however you perceive me, most people default to he, him. Some people want to be a little bit more spicy and use they, them, or she, her. But I do have a preference. And they are in this order. She, they, he. The reason for this is because I've been hearing he, him my whole life. It's boring. It's tired. It's uninspiring, uncreative. It's essentially a Ben Shapiro film. So I have the preference that people, if they're going to use the set of pronouns, they would use she or they just because it's more exciting, more interesting. But it's up to whatever the person wants to use. So in this case, if this person is being called she, her by somebody, but they don't identify as a woman, let's say, then, and in that way, that could be potentially, you know, annoying. Use they, them every once in a while, you know, spice it up, put some flavor into the conversation. There's no problem with that.
I really prefer a mixture of all three. And please
Fire alarms
do not
bullshit,
use he, him pronouns for me.
Oh, God forbid.
Ever. I don't like them. They make me dysphoric.
Seems fine to me. Does Ben Shapiro like it when people use she, her pronouns on him? Probably not. As far as I'm aware, he uses he, him pronouns. So we don't call him she, her. Seems simple enough to me.
Time in human history where I will acquiesce to using someone's preferred pronouns. This person indeed deserves to be called by clown.
Good one, man! Very funny! The joke was literally written before you even watched the TikTok by the person who made the TikTok.
That is an accurate description.
Hilarious. That's all we get. Okay, dude.
Oh no, not these people.
Wait, these people? What you mean? Do you know these people? I don't know these people.
What are we gonna do? It's like, people just don't believe us anymore.
I know, Nicole. What if we created the perfect cheer?
Let's go!
Vaccinate! 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 Vaccinate!
Who's that girl?
So I can immediately tell that I am not the primary demographic that this video was made for. And because I am an adult with a functioning brain, past the point of me watching this video, I'm just not gonna watch more of their content, and I'll be chilling.
COVID, COVID, you can take a knee!
I like the Todd over here can't even do the chat. He just keeps screwing it up every 5 seconds.
COVID, COVID.
It's pretty great. She's very into it, and he's into it, but mainly because she told him to be into it.
What is this? I feel like he's... Listen, if you were told to do this, I'm pretty sure he would not be committing to the bit as much. If you're in such a situation that Ben Shapiro probably is with his doctor wife, and you get told to do a thing because Ben Shapiro is very excited to acquiesce to the demands of more dominant figures, like his doctor wife, you expect that Ben Shapiro will begrudgingly do it. But this guy seems to be a bit more enthusiastic. And therefore, even if he was told to do it by her, I feel like it's not hurting him that much because he seems to be in it a little bit more.
So your idea is that I must vaccinate my small child based on your cheer? Like, you keep saying science.
No, it's usually the scientific consensus around the fact that vaccines, as they have been reviewed for children, are shown to be safe, factually. That's what the data seems to bear out. So Ben Shapiro, because his ability to analyze the media that he watches is that of a, let's be charitable and say a bearded lizard, he watches this video and is like, okay, these people are chanting and doing like a dance. I'm not a big fan of this. But very obviously, this video was made specifically for me. I was the one that these people were thinking of when they made this video. And because it is not to my taste, obviously they have made a blunder, as it were. But a reasonable human being would just not watch the video. It seems like the primary demographic for this video is probably gonna skew younger, perhaps even for children, because chants, rhymes, dancing, exuberant body language, usually a pretty good way to engage children while delivering them information. Teachers do this. Educational programs on the television do this. It's a very known phenomenon. And usually that kind of stuff is not targeted at adults.
So show me science, because I don't see science in that video.
Well, yeah, and the reason why you might not see science in that video, if it's for children, you're not going to expect them to be able to understand in the space of a TikTok how virology works, how vaccines work, and all this kind of thing. So you're not going to include it in the video.
How about if you provided me some data?
Numbers, numbers, numbers.
Or is that beneath you?
You're mean mugging people that were just doing a silly little chant about how it is a good thing based on scientific consensus to vaccinate Not only just adults, but also kids now that those have been cleared. What do they do to deserve your ire? I'm so confused. Like, imagine having to posture as this masculine intellect in this context. Good lord.
So,
yeah. What's really interesting, ostensibly, the left is easily triggered, right? Snowflakes, easily offended at mere presentation of information or whatever. And here we have Ben Shapiro being visibly annoyed over the fact that somebody exists that looks in such a way that he disapproves of. Literally just by existing, this person has melted the snowflake of Ben Shapiro because they've decided to color their hair and wear funkily shaped glasses that correlate to the color of their hair.
To be out as trans non-binary at school. Do not come up in my comments saying that I am allowed, because I'm not. I live in Louisiana and it sucks here. So of course my response to this is to be as obnoxiously queer as possible. So I've got my rainbow hair with leopard print.
Oh, what? So it's literally even the point. So it's not always the point that people will decide to look in a way that people like Ben Shapiro would see to be odd or whatever and get very upset about. But in this case, it actually is. Like, this person is saying that, oh, like, I can't be openly non-binary at school because I'm in hell on earth, Louisiana. So I am instead going to present that information through aesthetics and have colored my hair in such a way to convey that. And in that way, I am going to frustrate the feeble minds, like the people who watch Ben Shapiro, whenever they view me, whenever they simply perceive me. I think that's pretty alpha, in my opinion. If the mere presence of you, the mere presence of your body in a space is enough to get people like Ben Shapiro, who are ostensibly like cold, calculated, easily unoffended, macho men, to buckle, that's pretty dominant if you ask me. I don't know.
I've got my rainbow glasses. Sometimes I wear pins too with various rainbow things on them. I don't have any today. I just have my COVID sticker.
Nice.
I wear things that do not match at all.
Well, we're wearing... Okay, so I see one pivotal flaw, perhaps a fatal flaw in our argument here, in that we're wearing Crocs, and I'm sorry. That's even a bridge too far for me. I tried to present myself and am a very progressive and understanding, welcoming person of things that I disagree with. But Crocs are a bridge too far. What in the fuck is this? What am I looking at? Crocs have never looked good, ever. Why do people wear them?
Basically, my goal is to look like a unicorn threw me up. If I can't do that, what's the point? But the best part about...
I appreciate that too, because that sounds like a callback to like 2000s scene girls, you know? Or like the plur rave girls. I appreciate that. Like the RAR means I love you and dinosaur type beat. I appreciate that.
All of this is that
unicorn
all of my coworkers are like, oh my gosh, you're so hip and you're so cool and the kids love you. I'm like, no, I'm not hip or cool. I'm just queer as hell and y'all are boring.
This is a deeply unhappy human. I just want to go through a few of the things about this video. One,
oh, you really think
she can't come out to her students at school, but she can dress like a queer unicorn at the school. So I feel like the school is a little inconsistent in their application.
Yeah, probably.
Of their rules.
But in what way, Ben Shapiro? And how do you feel about that? How would you fix the problem at the school?
Why would her fellow teachers think that she was cool and hip? Because I'm not getting cool and hip from this vibe. I mean, call me an old fuddy-duddy.
Did anyone ever tell you you're kind of a sexy fuddy-duddy?
But it does, in fact, look like a unicorn threw this person up.
Well, hell yeah. You're correctly identifying the person in the way they want to. So that's cool. That's pretty progressive of Ben Shapiro.
By the way, there is a cadre of social justice activists whose sole goal is to get into schools and then indoctrinate your kids with this kind of crap.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that is that that's literally the points of conservatism and book burning and the rewriting of history and the anti-CRT crowd. Conservatives have done this for a long time. Conservatives have literally burned books for a long time. They whitewashed the history of the civil rights movement. They whitewashed the history of the indigenous genocide that kickstarted this country. They whitewashed the history of slavery. They indoctrinate your kids on a daily basis. Conservatives do. Conservatives actively propagate child abuse through their rhetoric and their policy prescriptions on a daily basis. Anytime, and I know I'm taking this a bit seriously for the context of this video, anytime a conservative talks to you about, oh, the lefties are invading your schools and indoctrinating your kids, it's projection. The reason they do this is to get in front of arguments for the fact that they are doing it, right? If you tell the public that the enemy, in this case leftists or lefties for Ben Shapiro, are doing the thing you're doing, those people are going to have to defend themselves from that accusation, and it'll distract people from the fact that conservatives like Ben Shapiro are actually doing that thing. Very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff.
So make sure, if you're hiring for a school, make sure to check people's TikToks before you hire them. Make sure to check people's Facebooks before you hire them.
Make sure not to hire people based on the way that they have decided to express themselves and exercise their individual liberty, because in Ben Shapiro's libertarian worldview, schools, private firms, federal entities should be allowed to exclude people from the hiring process based solely on aesthetic characteristics that they have chosen for themselves that hurt nobody. Because he's a big libertarian. He is very excited for the idea that people should be able to do whatever they want as long as they're not hurting anybody. And in this case, objectively, just by having colored hair and being a non-binary, you're not hurting nobody. The only way you could possibly think that they are is projecting the fact that your ideology as Ben Shapiro actively harms children. It makes them ill-equipped to understand the way that racism plagues our society. It makes them ill-equipped to understand the ways that they are being abused by their parents in regards to not affirming their gender identities. It provides a whole host of abusive and harmful things to continue to ferment in society, which is why Ben Shapiro is mad that people have colored hair. Also, I want to go back and say, while I'm taking this a bit more seriously than I probably should,
Boring.
This is a deeply unhappy human.
And like, it's probably true. Like, I agree with Ben Shapiro here. This person probably is pretty deeply unhappy, but the reason why is probably not why Ben Shapiro thinks. The reason why Ben Shapiro thinks this person is unhappy is because like, oh, they've got like a mental illness or they're confused or whatever it is. For me, because I understand reality, I understand how people work, I understand simple sociological concepts as a bimbo, dumbfuck, femboy, live broadcaster on the internet, I understand that the fact that there is policy in place in Louisiana that prevents a person from exerting and exercising their individual liberty to be non-binary and identify with that as their gender identity, which objectively hurts 0 people, is going to make somebody feel some type of way. Somebody's going to be made upset by that, because it's not just that person that's upset. If that person is an empathetic person, which they probably are, which Ben Shapiro obviously is not, they would also understand that that policy does not only harm them. That policy harms other people who don't identify within the cis-normative binary, okay? Because we understand this, we understand that other people will also suffer as a result. And you might be like, oh, well, they're not getting shot. They're not getting maimed or physically injured. But as rational human beings, we understand that mental distress over completely inconsequential things like gender identity being different from what people expect it to be can cause repercussions in people's lives, even to a physical extent. It's fairly understood that depression, for instance, can have negative ramifications on the physical being. This is understood science. So even if you think it's just like, oh, it's just the mental stuff, there can be runoff problems that manifest as a result of the mental stuff. But as kind and compassionate human beings, we should just not want people to be harmed, mentally or physically. But that might be too much to ask from the libertarian Ben Shapiro. It's Cat. That cat's not a conservative.
Service team, the Eagle has landed and is making his way down the helicopter stairs. We know his history with stairs, and this could be a disaster. Stand by.
Hilarious.
Eagle has made it down the stairs. He was a little wobbly at the end, but he made it. Eagle appears to be very disoriented today. We're going to need to do like last time and point out exactly where we need him to go.
Okay.
Secret Service team, prepare a point. Hold that point. Perfect. No way he could miss that. Eagle will be.
You understand that the Secret Service, their job is literally to direct the president to go through specific routes that have been made safe for the president, the most important person in the world. That's kind of their job, to point the president in the direction they need to go in order to maintain their safety. Like that's literally in the job description.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
It's a meme though, like it doesn't matter too much.
Eagle is wandering. All units be advised, we are going to need a pretty lady or small child of some sort with nice smelling hair to get the Eagle back on track. And we've lost visual.
The end was funny enough for me though. When Trump was in office, they would make the same TikTok, but with the badass movie music, so it makes him sequel. Yeah, that's kind of funny too, in that way, in that like, oh, if Donald Trump goes off of the path of what the Secret Service has laid out, he's like being an alpha male. He's being a Chad. He's a man going his own way, or whatever.
Okay, I guess I see why people watch TikTok. That's funny.
Really?
You know, every time I do one of these woke TikTok
I don't think it was
Reacts
that funny.
videos, I think there can't be much more of this. But then a new tsunami of crazy is unleashed, and my producers agglomerate all of it for my viewing displeasure.
Okay,
if you wish to see this continue, please leave a comment below.
Oh, God. Listen, for my benefit, I guess, don't like leave a comment below or subscribe or do any of that for Ben Shapiro. But luckily, his community will do enough, because like his community will lap up literally whatever he puts out. So it does provide content for me in the form of the video we just watched. So at least they're doing that good work. Well, I mean, I imagine I've said everything that I need to say in this video. It is Ben Shapiro reacting to Insane Woke TikToks Volume 7. It's obviously probably some of the most intelligent media he's put out yet. So we got to give him credit for that, at least. It seems like he's put in a little bit more effort. But the shining star of this video has certainly been his editor. His editor, who probably doesn't get paid enough. That's just a guess I have. Probably doesn't get paid enough. But they're probably fine with that, because if you're editing for Ben Shapiro, you're probably a conservative, which means you're a cuckold. So you're probably fine with being exploited and demeaned. But certainly did carry the video, so we got to give him props for that, at the very least. This video's call out as Rumble Ball again. I don't know how many times you've actually won this, but certainly not the first time, so congratulations again. Appreciate the support. If you'd like to be the next Conure call out, all you gotta do is follow me on Twitter, @ConureCC, retweet my video links when they go live, etc, etc. Remember to subscribe to the channel, put all notifications on when you hit the bell, leave a like. If you'd like, comment something of a scathing criticism of Ben Shapiro down below or whatever, and have a wonderful day.